for the Holy Angredate of Antioch, and it's Ieus Christe Dominum, dona eis requiem. All of us on stage are going like, oh, cool, you know. And then, to blow thy enemies to tiny bits in thy mercy, you know. That was terrific. I'd forgotten we'd done that last year. That it worked well last year, worked well this time too.
Sean Connery, Cairo Ren was better.
Yeah, that might have been my golden moment last night. It's because we have to just come up with different voices and characters and that. And I said, he only has one line, so let's have Sean Connery make that cameo appearance.
Sean Connery.
This is yours, right?
Yeah. Partners
okay.
Be here.
Don't even lose anything, all right? Okay, guys, welcome back.
Call me up, too.
Are my actors all here?
He's networking right now. He will be right here.
Okay,
I promise.
Okay, and my narrator will be right back for Skyhammer. She'll be back in a moment. And welcome, guys, to Voice Performer. Okay. All right, hands up.
Yeah.
This is those trying, difficult times when you actually have to get up and do it.
Yay.
That's difficult?
Yeah. Well, based on what normally people do and not do.
Strong back.
Oh, my favorite is that at the beginning, usually I will ask, how many people think about doing, you know, voice work and anime and stuff like that? A lot of hands go up, right? And then when I say, okay, well, it's time to volunteer, who wants to do it? And maybe half of the hands go up, or sometimes none of them. Because I say, well, we need to do something today, and their attitude is sort of like, well, I've always thought about doing it, just not like right now in front of anybody. Guess what? Today's the day. You know?
Woo.
So my volunteers, again, a big hand.
We clap for ourselves.
And when you're up here, believe me, we're all on your side. Remember that as performers, all right? Everybody wants you to be good. Everybody wants you to do a good job, except, of course, your competitors, your fellow actors. But everybody who is there in the booth, every client, everybody that writes you stuff wants you to be magnificent. So they're already on your side. You don't have to conquer anything. You don't have to go out and win that job and wring it from the universe and become a success. Everybody wants you to be good. I love the story of you guys know Charlie Sheen, his dad, Martin Sheen, forever, tremendous, wonderful actor, and all that stuff. Love him to death. He said something really wonderful. He was in an article where somebody was asking about the work and all that. What was the big challenge for you? And he said, when I was young and starting out on stage, I used to think that I had to conquer the audience. I had to go out and win, you know. And he said, it took me years to figure out that as soon as you walk on stage, you've already won.
Yep.
You know, they paid money to come see you.
Yes.
They want you to be good. Mm-hmm. They're ready for you to be good. They're ready to enjoy themselves. They're on your side. They're already there. You don't have to go and, you know, win them over and overcome their resistance and stuff like that. Michael Caine said it beautifully too. He said, you know, as soon as you get on set, you should be ready to have everybody on your side and ready to do a good job. They all want you to. Everybody's there. Because if you do your job well, everybody gets to finish and go home early. They're all going to get the same money. You know? When I do these things and I finish a job quickly, I'm getting paid a minimum. Okay, my contracts are 2-hour minimums. So if I'm there for 5 minutes, I'm getting the same money.
Right.
Right? So why not? Why not have it easy, right? How good do you want it is the old question. How good do you want it to be? Well, make it good. It's up to you, naturally. Okay, who was not here yesterday for, okay, yes, Punch, of course. Everybody stand up, please.
Love it, Punch.
Look at this.
So good.
First time I've ever seen a cosplay of Punch,
you're part of
ever.
CRH.
My first one, look at this.
Fantastic.
Excellent, thank you again. This is like the best, you know?
Oh, I like CRH.
Tied with my favorite character, as for my favorite character with Wormmon, Punch and Wormmon, okay? So it's safe to see. Wormmon's kind of difficult, you don't see people cosplay Wormmon. That would be brutally difficult. You know?
I will now try this at some point.
He goes, challenge accepted, right?
He knows me, yeah.
Next year.
It'll be fall. Yeah, it'll be fall.
Hey guys, welcome back.
Hey there.
Hey.
Also, as an actor, hydrate.
Yes.
Especially as a voice actor, really hydrate, okay? Okay, You were not here yesterday. What I did was talked about the creation of the voices in VoiceMaker, and we're going to have performers come up. But I'll recap some of that because it's worth talking about, and I can share some new information. When you are creating voices, you need to create a voice that you can, in fact, sustain. Something that sounds like what they want, sounds like a real character. And depending on the elements with it. You know, if you're not very good with a Scottish dialect, don't try to do it then. Phones off, please. Or down. Thank you very much. So you've got to do something that, in fact, is going to be something you can do every time. So if you can't do a good Scot, then don't audition with it and don't put it on your resume.
That's so good.
That'll get you in trouble, you know. That'll mess you up. So you need to make sure you can maintain the dialect, okay? If it's a voice like this is a scratchy and a throaty thing like we talked about yesterday. You can do this for a certain amount of time. If you keep enough air under it, like I do, okay, just like this one.
There you are.
You need to make sure that you put enough air underneath it. This is not good for your voice. If you don't have the training, don't do it. You will mess yourself up. Many is the time an actor who says, oh, monsters, no problem, I ain't going there. You know, and they walk in and, you know, like some metal band or something like that. And the voice is gone in 5 minutes. You can't do it anymore. It's got to be maintained. That's part of being a professional. Bring in something you can use, okay? Don't audition with something you don't have. And as I say, don't put on your resume an accent that you don't know how to do. Sooner or later you get called on it, and you look really bad, you know. Now, when I mentioned yesterday, everybody remember the lower thrust? Some people came in late, but yeah, when you thrust your throat like this and start saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic. Would you stand? Yeah, but you see what happens there? You hear the way I sound? It's not the same, is it? Yeah. That's how you create a character voice. You just do one thing like that and it's different, you know?
And you could add things to it, like nasalizing your voice that way. If you decided you're going to be a Frenchman, you would do that too. Yeah.
Those are 3 elements, a lower thrust, nasalization, and a French accent. Okay? So you just kind of add that stuff in. Those are the way character voices work. I like to name them, okay?
Yes.
Well, I mentioned yesterday, C.K. Westhaven. There's a certain something about him. Old money from back east. Yes, C.K. Westhaven.
No,
Of the
him.
Connecticut Westhaven. Rhode Island.
We don't associate with that.
No, of course not.
No,
Well, they're not real
anyone but
Westhavens.
It's all about the
More old money, they made their money in fish. So.
They had a nouveau riche.
So yeah, when you're doing something like that, I find it useful to do that. If I write the name down and it reminds me of the voice, that's all I need. If, on the other hand, it's a voice that just needs a certain quality, I will write that quality down. Because maybe it's not a voice that I named. Maybe it's not what I call one of my stock voices, okay? Yesterday when I was doing Angelo Cuspidori, okay, that's a stock voice, okay? So he's on my demo and he's on my list. So if I was going to do a role like that, I would just put Angelo Cuspidori and that would be on my audition thing, so I would be ready, you know? Other times I would just say throaty. Or like, for instance, if they want an old voice, I'll put old me. I use my voice. I'll make it, you know, a little bit older and slower or something like that, you know?
A few hesitation spots right there.
Yeah, and again, that brings character to it, what's going on with this person. I did a character in Henry IV Part 1, where I played the sheriff. They hadn't cast it yet, so I was an actor who wasn't busy at that moment in the show, so they said, another role. I go, thank you, okay. So I had to come up with the sheriff. Now, this is a time of war, civil war, the Wars of the Roses in England. Pretty much any able-bodied man who could carry even a small weapon was brought into anybody's military or militia, okay? But this is a sheriff, okay? Why is he left behind? Why wasn't he drafted, thrown in, or why isn't he out fighting? So I gave him a limb so that he couldn't fight, and he couldn't give commands either because my sheriff like that, okay? So I had a line which is, there are 3 men outside who are owed 300 marks, okay? Now, here's where I talk about answers, you never know. If somebody will give you an idea for a role or give you what the role should be. Okay, he's an outlaw and he's an alien and he's this and that and all that. And he comes from a place where all of their eyes look green and with, you know, they look like snakes and stuff like that. So you start thinking, well, what would a person like that sound like? Well, I was having trouble with the line. I couldn't say, there are 2 gentlemen I saw you were out 300 marks. I kept going 300, I wanted to say pounds. 300 pounds. That's where a pound comes from in England. We used to get a pound of silver, literally. That's what you got, a pound of silver, all right? So that's where pound, I still say pounds, all right? So I, for some reason, couldn't say marks. I kept saying pound. Every time I practiced it. And I was memorizing lines, I got it down, but I couldn't say that. Well, then I just decided, out of the blue, it was like a bolt of lightning hit me, make that part of the character. Because I kept saying 300 pounds. So and then I came up to 2 gentlemen outside who were out 300 marks. And now my character has a stutter.
Nice.
You know, answers come from weird places, okay? I don't go around and do that all the time because if somebody does really stutter, it's like I'm making fun of them. But it was a character choice that worked there. So, yeah, I was crippled and I couldn't put 5 words together without stuttering. So, of course, I stayed behind when everybody was off to war because I needed somebody to watch the home front. So I was limping and you know, that kind of thing. So that's where that kind of an answer came from. You just don't know. It'll just hit you. Go with it. Let your instincts rule you. Most of the time when you get up and read for something or you're given an audition, your instinct will give you a way to do it the first time, and a lot of times that's the one. Not every time, okay? Wormmon, for instance, great example. They handed me the copy, I saw the picture, I saw the words, I knew exactly what to do. Yep. Other times I sit there and work, and now that one doesn't work, and that one doesn't work, and that one doesn't work. Do they want me to be somebody evil? You know? You can go ahead and just try to, I'm going to come up with an evil voice. A lot of times they want your voice. And you need to do a job of being an actor who's evil, okay? So it's not all about just making a voice. Sometimes they want you. A lot of people come to my panels and they hear my voice for the very first time. I almost never get to use my own. It's highly unusual. I'm always called in to do a character. My monster voice, the things I do for like Cocomon and Diabolomon, and for that matter, the Nine-Tailed Fox, that is known as that voice. So they call me and say they need you to come in and do that voice. I know exactly what they're talking about. You know? That's why I'm known as one of my reputations, you might say, the guy that does the monster voice. So when I finish a session, I walk out and I meet people for the first time. They go, "Oh, that's your real voice?" Like, yeah, that's what I really sound like. I don't walk around like this all the time. Yeah. I need $25 on pump number 7. Thank you. You know, you get looks. You know. And imagine, you know, on Mom's special day. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. See the scar right here? Well,
Yeah,
Mom took
See you,
exception.
sweetie.
But the thing you do, you go with what you go with, okay? People like me for the character voices I do. I'm not going to say, no, I refuse. I want to be understood and heard for myself.
Respected.
When it's called for, okay? When I do industrials, I did for years Lexus International. They're industrials, which are CDs you listen to that teach you about the vehicles, so that when you talk to a customer, you sound like you did it, you knew, all right? So I would say things like, the Lexus ES300 has an available Nakamichi 8-speaker sound system, and on the LS400, it's standard, you know? So I do stuff like that. Those are industrials, they want your voice. These are training things.
Nice.
I've done that for United Airlines and Budweiser and Sun Microsystems, okay? 2 days of going Sun this, Sun that, Sun everything, because the Sun systems, apparently somebody else uses the word sun someplace, okay? So you can't just say that, I think their art program way back then was called Sunscape, okay? But it's Sunscape by Sun. And so in every single one I had, and when you're using Sunscape, And when using son this and son that, after a while I thought, this is a sibilant's nightmare. Fun this and fun that, you know. In those cases, I get to use my own voice, and they hear me, they go, yeah, that's the guy. He sounds sincere, and he's good with the language and all that stuff. And I'm like, thank you, I got somebody gonna hear me. But you guys never hear that unless you're training for these jobs. Otherwise, it's Leomon, you know, Zen-ness and stuff like that. Just a little bit more about the voice, and then I'll have you guys come up. We do have closing ceremonies right after this, so I'm gonna try and, well, we get everything in and get some Q&A, but we'll try and stop a few minutes early so they don't come in droves and, you know, interrupt me and I have to draw weapons. You guys will join me.
You got the cutlass?
Held orders. So I'm getting excited now. Stop, okay.
It's like you forgot to bring your flintlocks.
That's right, I did leave my flintlocks. Dang it.
Did you want to go first, though?
It's all right. Got my comb.
I have no issue with it.
There we go. We have at least one guy. You'll be in front. Congratulations. Thanks.
Oh, sorry, just that.
So when I talk about the layering of voices again, and I say you have to be able to maintain them, all right? When I'm doing something like Leomon, and again, if I haven't had a chance to tell some of you, Leomon is coming back, okay? Digimon Tri, okay? Can't say anything more, but I was back, all right? When you're doing a voice like that, Leomon was written as a hero, and for the most part he was, okay? And mostly what I did was protect the children, all right? Now this voice is what I used for Leomon. I walked in, I auditioned with this voice, and they said, yeah, that's good. Because Leomon's tough as nails, right? He fights and, you know, with the hammer and all that crap, right?
Fist of the Beast King.
Yeah, Fist of the Beast King. So I would, you know, Fist of the Beast King, down you go, and stuff like that. I used much like that voice for my purely evil character, the only one I've ever done. I didn't do my Villains of Pulse and Peter panel here. We didn't do that this year, but maybe next year, right? When I did Yami, Yami was a perfect example of a character that all you had to do was look at the picture. Okay? He's like 9 stories tall, and he's just he just goes around murdering, you know. Hey, you want to help me go kill somebody? I'll kill you afterwards, but let's go kill them. It's like that. He would join forces with somebody and turn around, you know. So when I saw that character, you know, gigantic and evil. So I did something like Leomon, but this is a little more fun forward. See that? Yeah. I would do Leomon along these lines, you know. You will not harm these children. With the Yami, I would funnel my voice forward a little bit to change the lips. It's called funneling, okay? You can see again, just a little change in placement and the voice changes a little bit. That's what I went for. Those are voices that you have to be able to maintain. What are you hearing? Okay, guys, since you were here yesterday and heard what I talked about in terms of the vocal qualities, what are you hearing? When I'm doing this as Yami, what are you hearing? Yes? Oh, sorry. I was raising your hand. There's no one just... Yes?
It kind of feels like the vocal cords are rubbing together.
Yes, I'm making it a little throaty because the vocal cords, I'm doing this again, okay? Remember, don't do that unless you're trained.
Yep, you get
They're
notes.
supposed to resonate like this,
Yep.
like guitar strings, okay? Free of each other.
This,
Yeah.
like this.
And not scraping, okay? I can do that again. I can get away with it for a long time. I know how to take care of my voice. Don't do that unless you have the training. You will burn out. You might even get nodules and not be able to speak for a long time.
Bleeding.
A lot of awful things can happen. What else am I doing? What are you hearing? Yes?
Your pace, you sped up the pace just a little bit.
My
not a
pace
lot.
is faster.
Just a little bit.
It's not about talking fast, but sometimes with a character, especially in combat, you know, the blood is up, the adrenaline's going, you don't slow down at times
No,
like
you don't.
that. Does now.
Also, he just loves fighting, so he's very excited to be.
Yeah, he always has that leer on his face. Oh, sorry. And plus that jawbone underneath here, his armor. One look at that, you go, this is not a nice person. But you know, when you see a picture like that, you wouldn't use a voice like this, would you? I don't think so.
Unless you're going for irony.
I'm gonna kill you
Actually, that was
if you're not busy. I can come back later. You know, so some are appropriate, some are not, you know. You imagine, you know, Zen-ness as punch, you know. Hola, amigos. ¿Cómo estás? You know, you can't, you know.
It's
Sounds pretty
fun when you
That-
mess with the voices like that.
That would be great for a blooper reel, though.
Oh, yeah, and you do need to look at, as I say, the picture, and sometimes just look at the lines. You don't always get a picture at the auditions. They don't always do that. Sometimes you just get what's called a breakdown. Your character is this many years old. He works in a warehouse, okay? But at night, he puts on the mask and he becomes, but they will just give you that stuff, and there's no picture. You don't get a chance to look at it. Some animated characters I've done, I've never seen a picture until I got in there. I just read the part. They brought me in, okay, here's your guy. Oh, okay, that's what I look like, terrific. Yes?
How much background information or detail would be ideal for you guys in creating a voice for a character?
For me, it's always a great help to see the character. You get sometimes, especially with really good animation, you guys know this, one look at the face, and you already know, about whatever the person might be. One look at a guy who's doing this. You kind of get an idea what that character is like. If they're always like this, the shadow. You imagine in Cowboy Bebop, you look at Spike. Okay, hard to imagine anybody but Steve Bloom doing that. Okay, very hard to imagine that. All right, the right quality, the look, all that stuff. Right. The picture for me is best, and that's very good. The most important thing is if I get the background, the breakdown when they talk about, I can fill in the blanks. Okay, like what I just said, a guy who works in a warehouse, he's a manager, but at night he, turns into the shadow man or something like that. I am fax man. Fear my copies, So,
Now we get into Here's Long.
but you get an idea from the occupation of the person, what that might be. You're all way too young, most of you, or anyway, to remember Underdog.
Oh, I don't know.
Underdog, okay, good, all right, yeah. So,
It does.
now what was his occupation in the daytime?
A shoe shine boy.
He was a shoe shine boy. And he would say, "This is well done, yes, sir." He goes, "Thank you, shoe." And the guy would go, "Thank you, shoe shine. You're humble and lovable." And he'd take the coin and go, "Bless you, sir." Like that, But you look at that, that's a meek little person, a meek little voice, and then he suddenly goes,
Underdog.
"Underdog is here," And that was Wally Cox, the wonderful, wonderful actor Wally Cox. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I was kind of accidentally doing the "There's no need to fear." Underdog is
There's
here.
no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Would never put that voice and that character together.
Oh, no, you wouldn't think of that, and somebody did it and it worked. There's like, I know a guy that has a voice deeper than mine that auditioned for Wormmon. And I heard later that he had auditioned for it, and I'm like, believe that guy. But you wouldn't think with my voice either, I just do a tiny worm, It's actually the deepest voice I do, by the way, of all my characters. People hear this and think that's my deepest voice.
Nope.
Actually, that's kind of my same range. All I'm doing is changing the placement, I'm not making it deeper.
Okay.
But if you listen to my range here, we talked yesterday about your medium note.
Right.
Typically your comfortable note that you speak, all right? Now listen here, and then listen to how I went down here and did Wormmon. You hear what I did? Wormmon is actually the deepest voice I use of all of my characters.
A lot more bass.
But you don't think about it because it's just... Somebody asked me, "Are you going to digivolve?" I said, "No, I'm feeling very larval today." So I don't think so. I made that up. I'm feeling very larval.
We're going, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, I know.
How are you feeling today?
I'm very larval. All right. So actors, stand up, please. Okay, everybody go outside for a few minutes. The dialogue scene, that's what they call it. Two-person scene is called a dialogue scene. I will need to have one of you standing close to me so I can do this, because I'm going to do the end where it says legal. Okay?
Gotcha.
So, all right, don't do the sound effects.
Gotcha.
It says sprinklers turn on. Somebody start going.
Stop it, they're gonna do that.
Besides, there's an engineer who's going to make money doing that. Don't take work away from them. So, practice together, sound like neighbors. Okay, you guys, with your material again, hold it up and just as you feel comfortable about it. Okay, and that's what I want. I don't want it memorized, but I want you to feel like this is easy. So it sounds like you know each other.
Yep.
So for the game, This is, you want to make people excited about it, it's probably on the screen, and they show, you know, like this flying through the air, and at the end you say Skyhammer. And for the movie trailer, okay, that is going to be, again, the picture. So let the picture take care of the visuals and all that. You take care of the drama and the voice, that kind of stuff. So read and feel comfortable. Thawne, same thing. Remember, you're a bad guy, right? Or are you?
Oh.
Could
Now-
go either way, really.
Yeah, it could go either way. I would
really
rather
sorry.
you
I'm
made
going to be
a
in your
strong
way, dude.
choice that way that will fit your voice and that I will think about in casting.
Sorry.
Okay, guys, take a few minutes.
You got it.
Go outside. Come on, get. Think of like serious. Okay, now we can talk about them. Oh my God, the door's not closed yet. Okay.
We'll do it anyway.
Yeah, I always do it. It doesn't stop me. Yes, Mom.
Okay, you were talking about stretching out the dialogue and.
You mean when I was
coordinating.
Zenless and I had to make 2 seconds worth of dialogue last like
Right.
20 minutes? Yeah.
The first year when I attended, Sam had, I don't know Chris's last name, but he brought his equipment and he does recording.
Sabbath.
Thank
It was
you.
Chris Sabat, yeah, it was Chris
Oh.
Chase and yeah.
And he did a panel where he had people come up and read, and they were showing the actual anime on the screen. And then he was showing them and demonstrating how difficult it is to coordinate the dialogue with what's going on there, and sometimes they had to stretch it out or condense it or do something because they would be giving dialogue and it's supposed to be pow, 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 pow. You know?
That's right. Sometimes that's fixed with the writing, but sometimes the Japanese animation, and I'll give you a little demonstration with Punch, okay? Sometimes the animation is so right there on the screen, you can't do anything about it, the way the mouth moves, okay? Here was the line I had as Punch. The line was, and now for today's hot news. That's the line. Here's what the flappage was, as we call it, or flappage, all right? It was like this. Okay? And now for today's hot news. And the flappage was, all right? So I sat there, and the engineer and the director, Mary Elizabeth, sat there, and we were going, because you're stuck with that, and they didn't write it. The writer couldn't come up with a solution. It's hard, you know? It's difficult to write for animation. Don't think that, well, it's just a cartoon, no problem. Oh my God, the translation from the Japanese is what you need to do. They
And
work
that was
differently.
Chris's point.
The minds work differently too. They're conceptual. We're very literal in the way they're very conceptual, right? So here I was looking at the animation going like, and like I said, answers come from weird places, bolt out of the blue. I thought, I'm gonna use the accent. That's how I'm gonna solve this problem. And I started laughing to myself, and I said, just roll it, just roll. And so the character does this. So the line came on, and I said, and now for today's hot news. See, you do it with the accent, because in Spanish they would say hot. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and just use the accent. And those two, I swear to God, the engineer just put his head down laughing, and the episode just kept running. It's just because he didn't stop it. And Mary's in there, she's like, oh my God. And again, it was one of the great answers I ever came up with, and it wasn't like I took the time to puzzle over it. I thought, how am I going to take care of this? I have to use probably on the word hot. How am I going to solve this? And the accent came to my rescue, you know. It was the best. Well,
It was all like the problem's right there. It's just that hold right there.
Spit it out. I didn't mean spit it out, but I need a new sponge. Hello. He's a sweet bird, no? Oui or no? Oui, no, peut-être.
He's extremely heavy, so I can't open the valve
Oh,
further
yeah.
than this is supposed to be. This was also built for somebody with a hand twice my size.
Cool. What's his name?
Here.
Kier.
This is Kier from King of Bandaging.
Yay, Kier. Welcome, Kier. And now we'll say hail, Kier, from each time. Oh, that is heavy.
Incredibly heavy, like my shoulder was shaking after 5 minutes.
I'm not quite sure how Tyler carried this thing around for 2 hours.
With great difficulty, I would think.
I think so.
Arm curls.
Yeah, Ryan, would you go ahead and bring my actors in, please? They haven't left. I can't bear it.
Like the entire Bourne series. Even after 50
I'm having beak issues.
Oh, dude, you could have just told me,
Excellent.
oh my gosh, Jason Bourne.
Where'd you go?
Maybe they really did leave.
They wandered off a little too far.
Yeah, a little too far. Thank you very much, monsieur. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup.
Unfortunately, it's a regular.
I love about Sean Connery, any role he plays, he always sounds exactly the same.
I, for one, did not know Lithuanian sounded like that.
Yeah, or for that matter, Berber tribesmen of North Africa. Yeah, they sound like Scotsmen too. What's up with that?
Yeah, let's, exactly.
My name is Moody Ahmed Rajoui the Magnificent. Or is it? That was the best. Just, well, what is the name, your Christian name, the one that comes before the audience is, oh, my first name, my Christian name. Moody. That's Moody the Scotsman. Well done there. I am only an instrument in Allah's will. Or he said Allah, I'm sorry, Allah's will. It's like the Brits when they say mafia, you know? The whole world says mafia, but they pronounce it mafia. They sound less menacing when you go, the guys in the mafia.
Oh yeah, they're just in the mafia right there.
Okay, now guys, we're going to be doing this. Everyone quiet please as we are quote unquote recording, okay? And afterwards, everyone, I want you to be ready to give, the critiques. I want you to listen for what they're doing. Was it too fast, for instance? Did you understand all the words? Okay? When you're doing a character voice, especially like Thawne, okay, sometimes the speech goes. They come up with this great voice and the speech doesn't go there again. Something you can maintain, all right? You have to be understood. Those of you who were at my pirate panel, okay, when I talked about how you need to, you need to be able to be understood. So you sound piratical and you sound energetic and convincing, but I have to understand the words you're saying, you know. They get up there and there's I don't feel insulted, my ears hurt though, you know. So.
We keep that one below.
Okay, so let's start with you, Thawne. All right. We talked about this yesterday. How do you hold the microphone?
Right here.
Kiss the mic, that's right.
Yep.
How do you hold the copy up?
Right here.
Okay. Do not memorize, because you will go into an audition and you will forget your lines. And it's so awful, you don't even have your copy there. They say, you're not expected to have it memorized, so have it there. It's the best prop. It's the best prop you have, okay? It's something you can hold on to. It's hard to act with nothing in your hands. That's why you'll see actors do this, or they move their bodies and do weird things when they're on stage. And there's an old saying in the British theater, don't just do something, stand there. Like this, and talk.
Yes.
My feet are at 3/4, so I look like I'm going to be talking to you, but you can all see me. There are techniques and things like that. But don't sit there and fidget and, I feel like maybe I could comb my hair. No, the scene is not about you combing your hair, is it? You know, it's not about the guy who comes out of the bathroom with toilet paper off his heel. The play isn't called the guy with toilet paper coming off, you know. But people decide they're going to flesh their characters out and do this sort of stuff. I want simple. Use the copy, use your voice, take your time. All right, what's your first name?
Real one or?
Real one.
Andy.
This is Andy. Okay, everyone? Quiet in the house, please. We are recording.
This is Andy for the role of Thawne. And 3, 2, 1.
I wear this mask not out of honor, not to observe the caste culture, not to glorify the Leros, but to mock them, to take all the traditions it represents and stigmatize them. When people see this mask, I want them to be reminded of how unjust and sickening the upper Lero is, and how those in it will do anything to blind you from seeing that.
Okay. Now the copy here can kind of be taken in a couple of different ways.
Yes.
The vocal choice he made, good guy or bad guy?
Bad guy.
Bad guy.
Closer to bad guy, yeah. And a good, strong choice. I got cast in a play once at the Old Globe Theater in San Diego, that Old Globe, the one that goes back 100 plus years, right?
Yep.
I was reading for a role and I kind of read it wrong. As you don't get a chance to look at the script, I cold read it wrong. But my reading was perfect for another character in the show, so the director put me in that part. You can make very creative and rewarding mistakes. This was not a mistake by any means, but he went for something that kind of sounds like an evil character. Pacing.
If we could slow it down just a tiny bit.
I would have liked it slower. I would have liked it slower, yeah. Did you understand everything you said? Yeah. For the most part, yeah. One of the things about a voice like that is people are not used to listening to it, so they aren't listening to hearing normal speech that way, okay?
Yes.
Now, based on what I just heard there, Andy, I would call you back for another audition. Okay, Andy.
And also he handed his copy back, that's right. Don't take it with you. This is sacred stuff, to the writer anyway. But also you're not supposed to walk out and go to somebody who's doing a show and go, here's some of it, buy them off, thanks for the $50 or whatever. That kind of stuff does happen. So in fact, when I do an audition, they always send, and it's by email, they send me something to say, as usual, this is confidential material. Don't share it with anyone. It belongs to Fox TV, it belongs to Paramount, it belongs to Netflix, you know. These are all things you have to be careful of. So yes, turn your copy in, just like you turned in your pirate stuff the other night, right? That's all mine, mind you. Okay, yeah, come on. All right, so how do you hold the microphone?
Right to your mouth.
Kiss the mouth, the mic, yes. Okay, how do you hold your copy? Good. Again, it's amazing how many times I do these and I get people that end up microphones out here.
Really?
It is a discipline thing. And again, you don't need to worry about it in a real session. Your job is to plant yourself, find your place, and not move. They will set up the popper stopper and the mic and go in and do all the levels and have you try a few lines. They do that for you. But microphone technique is important anyway, anytime, so this is part of it. All right, what's your first name?
Christine.
Christine, okay. All right. Now sometimes they'll say slate your name and then go. A lot of times they slate for you though, okay? It used to be all the time you would say, Paul St. Peter for Zuran. Good, and 3, 2, 1, go, or something like that. A lot of times now they'll go ahead and just go, okay, this is Paul, blah, 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 stuff, and they always sound like they're irritated about something. No, I'm sorry, that was my ex-wife. Who said that? I was married, but I'm all better now. Okay, Christine, right? Okay. All right, quiet in the house, please. We are recording. This is Christine for Zuran. And 3, 2, 1.
The planet Bonmore has been invaded, her people enslaved, her riches plundered. Zoran Kai has returned to find his world in ruins, his love destroyed. The invaders have taken everything except his sword and his rage. Zoran! Coming May 2015.
Okay, too fast, too slow?
thought the base was right.
She changed up the bass, which I liked.
Yeah.
At the ending.
These pieces as trailers, as narration, you might even call it, are done in a specific style, okay? We're all accustomed to,
In a world where, right?
and people would do this.
The planet Bonmore has been invaded, her people enslaved, her riches plundered. Zuran Kai has returned to find the world in ruins, his love destroyed. The invaders have taken everything, except his sword and his rage. Zuran, coming May 2015. All right? That was the way to do everything, which is why there was one guy that did almost everything. All right? He did that. That's not right for everything, is it? Okay? Imagine if it was the latest comedy from so-and-so and such, right?
Tropic Thunder showed you how the...
Yeah. Yeah, and it's now become not a joke, but it's kind of like what people joke about when they talk about the style to do that. Okay, the voice?
I loved it, actually.
This is normally done by a guy, okay, this kind of stuff. She chose a very authoritarian and dark feel to the voice.
I thought it was a very imperial type voice.
She sounded imperial, yeah. Yes, regal and queenly. So it had a nice authoritative and strong feel to it, okay? One thing, even though it's capitalized and it has an exclamation point after it, you never shout. Okay? Because remember, it's the picture. When you see it on TV, the narrator is supporting what the picture you're seeing. Now that's different than if you're not going to put it on the radio. If it's on the radio, that's different. There's no picture, they want you to do different things. But that's all in the directorial part. Okay, let's try it again.
Okay. Oh, how's, going, what do you want me to change?
Like what we talked about.
No.
Don't shout, for instance.
Oh.
Yeah, and change the pace up a little bit, but again, these things also are timed. The piece you guys are doing, notice the top where it says 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, that's, and really you do it in 28. They want to be able to cut before and after or move it around as they need. So a 30-second spot, typically they want 28. But some things are timed. These things usually, if you see the trailer in a theater, it's much more involved because there's a lot of picture broken up by this. But if it's on TV and you're doing something very quick, there is a definite timing involved. Okay, let's try this again. This is take 2 for Christine on Zuran. Quiet in the house, please. We are recording. 3, 2, 1.
The planet Bonmore has been invaded, her people enslaved, her riches plundered. Zoran Kai has returned to find his world in ruins, his love destroyed. The invaders have taken everything except his sword and his rage. Zoran, coming May 2015.
Okay. See, it was nice and easy going. It felt like it was easy to you. That's our job, is to make it look easy. Everybody that thinks this stuff is easy doesn't know what they're talking about, I promise you. All right, very good, Christine. Neighbors, come on in. Come on down, neighbors. Howdy.
2015. I guess it's really cool.
Coming May 2015. And sometimes they get a separate person to do that. You know, they'll do that. All right, now sadly we only have the one mic.
That's fine.
Do we have a second one back there, by any chance?
I'll be fine.
We can,
Yeah.
So it's not 3 of us
I
on
can
one?
project with my diaphragm for years.
No, but that's the problem, then it sounds like a guy projecting.
I know, right? Project's fine.
What I'd like to do is have,
That's a mic. That's mind blowing. Let the mic do the work for you.
exactly right.
That's not.
Like, let the camera do the work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're working on camera, you do your part, let the camera do the work.
That's
Okay.
right.
Very important, yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, hold your puppy up.
Oh.
Microphone up.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and I will do this.
There you go, Mike. Do this.
You got it. All right. All right. So, this is a public service announcement, also known as a PSA, for conserveh2o.org, something that ran in California. Don't be fooled by the rains, our drought is not over. It's the worst in 1,200 years, okay? So conserve water here so we can have some, all right? All right, this is conserveh2o.org. Select your name, please.
Andrew.
And?
Javier.
Okay. Andrew and Javier, and we are recording. Quiet in the house, please. 3, 2, 1.
Hey neighbor, sure was a hot one today, but was it ever? Perfect for an evening barbecue, right after I finished watering the lawn. Isn't it a little late in the day for watering? It's actually more efficient to water early in the morning, or late in the evening. Is that so? Well, I guess I'll try that. I also use this handy water gauge to figure out how much water my lawn needs. With that rain we had Saturday, I only need a 1/4 inch. Wow, not much. And your lawn looks so healthy. Well, now it's time to barbecue. Come on by.
For more water-saving tips, visit conserveh2o.org, sponsored by the Regional Water Providers Consortium.
Cool.
Tasting?
Pretty natural. It seemed like a real conversation.
Yeah, it was relaxed, wasn't it? Yeah. It felt like two people that maybe do hang out and, like next time he'll bring the beer and, that kind of thing will go on, So it felt nice and relaxed. It felt like two people that know each other, okay? Speech was clear?
Yeah, understood every word.
Are these the kinds of voices for these kinds of characters? Yeah. Yeah.
Roughly, yeah.
Maybe young,
Yeah.
but young people buy houses too, and not all homeowners are like me, going, hey, would you like me to bring by a cup of sugar? So in fact, I would not have a problem thinking of these two voices. Again, sometimes they just want to have something older or more authoritative or something like that. So they might say, these guys were a little young for this, can we get others? But those are casting choices and director's choices, not up to you. If they call you in, there's a reason. There's something about your sound, your delivery, your performance, your professionalism that makes them want to hear you. Okay, guys, very well done. Thank you.
It's like going through all this other I appreciate it. Thank you.
Got it. Okay. And where are you? Oh, yes, thank you. Do come up. It's over here so we get no feedback.
Yeah, you won't get any. Especially when this one's not working. Oh, thank you, okay. You won't get anything at all. But...
You had the other one in your hand for a minute. They're color-coded,
My hands? Oh, the mics are color-coded. I'm a white man. The difference in the rings. Copper on this one, but on this. Okay.
Okay, so... She goes, but I don't sound like you.
Want you? We brought you in for you, not for me. Okay. How do you hold the mic?
Like this.
Okay. How do you hold the coffee? Good. And what is your name?
Alexis.
This is Alexis. Okay. So I'll be slating again. Sometimes they'll just slate your name and we'll go. Okay. Thanks. Other times they want to do all of it. That also is kind of cool though because they control it. You don't get an audition with no name on it. That is such a hassle. They have to find out. We love the reading. Who was it? Okay. And this is for Skyhammer. Thawne was auditioning, by the way. She's been cast. She's doing the job today. Okay. And this is Alexis for Skyhammer. Quiet in the house, please. We are recording. And 3, 2, 1.
Those are descendants of eternal dragons, flowing with the blood of their ancestors, sharing an immortal bond.
It's okay,
with
start
the
again. Start again. No worries. And take your time.
Those Siren, descendants of eternal dragons, flowing with the blood of their ancestors, sharing an immortal bond with dragonkind. Natural-born warriors with thirst for adventure. They share the writer.
That's okay. Oh, and you know what they do? They will cut and paste and take the little thing out and like that, so no worries.
Those are descendants of eternal dragons, flowing with the blood of their ancestors, sharing a moral bond with all dragonkind. Natural-born warriors with thirst for adventure. They're dragon.
Take your time.
The dragon riders to traverse the world, but In this world of magnificent beauty, darkness lurks from every corner. In order to keep Eurasia safe from evil throughout the ages, the Osiris forged an army, and they called it Skyhammer.
Skyhammer. Okay.
Yeah, see, not as easy as it always seems, right? You know? Thank you, Alexis. Okay, this is for a game, okay? It is about Skyhammer, okay? So, vocal quality?
Actually, I would like to.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people think that, well, these are all guy things. Sometimes it works better with a woman's voice. There's a quality that they bring. And a lot of things, a lot of producers don't think that way. Hey, we'll get all your narrator dudes in here, right? And there's a million of us that sound like this. So a lot of times they want to go in a different direction, okay? Yeah, you would need to work on the speech, okay? And these are things that we don't normally say, the Osira. Well, that's in the game, but there's no such thing in any other place. Eurasia? It's the name of a land. In the game it is. And that's one thing we need to do. Like, I didn't have a problem with Naruto at the very beginning, but my Japanese is too good. So I say Naruto Shippuden a lot better than most of the actors. So they make me change mine, because I don't sound like the others. Same thing in Spanish. French. I did something where I looped characters from Russian, which wasn't recorded well, and I did it in Russian, okay? So you're called upon to do a lot of things, and sometimes you have to sort of alter that, okay? Okay, my actors, thank you so much. And again, you know, big apologies because, not apologies, I'm sorry, big applause, because a lot of people that want to try that don't really have the guts to get up. And like I say, when I ask for hands of who wants to do voiceover at the beginning, a lot of hands come up, and other times, when I ask for volunteers, not so many hands come up. I did one where nobody raised their hand. And I walked out and said, who likes chocolate?
Good, you've been drafted.
And I grabbed the wrists and brought them up and said, thank you for volunteering. That's only happened one time, but I did actually have to do that. I said, who likes chocolate? And the hands went up, come on, you're up, you know. And they did fine. And one girl that was mega shy, she did a great job on the copy. She was shaking, but she sounded really good. Everything worked very well. I said, what are you nervous about? I would think of casting you, you're good, you know. But that's it, just out of the shyness. Okay, we got a couple of minutes before everybody comes on in. So any questions you guys had or wanted to talk about, anything about the jobs I'm doing, my work, the career, life in show business, and so on and so forth? Yes?
You mentioned you had a NDA up through like episode 600, whatever, for Koruma. How does that work when, I know the games went well ahead of the anime, like how does that work with your agreement? Well,
the NDA is only for the work I've done recently. If it's something that's already aired, well, obviously the secret's out, you know. I'm not going to give away any plot points.
That's why I was confused, because like up through 600, but if the game's already covered it.
Yeah, but even then, are those who have not played the game.
Fair enough.
And those who don't know, you know, things in the plot line, so you don't want to kind of ruin it for them. They don't want me to say anything because since it hasn't aired yet, it's still their property, and it's not out into the open for the rivals, the bad people, or whoever to hear to.
I'm just wondering how that worked, because it seemed like sticky.
They almost never say to us, okay, it's okay to talk about it, but we will get those emails sometimes. They say, all right, the game's going to be coming out on Friday. Go out and talk about it. Go on Facebook. Tell everybody you're an actor on the show. Put them on your sites and stuff like that. Talk about it.
It's like, get people to pay attention to this. We want more for sales.
Exactly right. Anyone else? Yes.
After all the years of Naruto, what do you think? What are your feelings about Boruto?
Boruto. I've already worked on it. Yeah.
Of course you have.
Of course I'm very happy because if my character comes back, I love doing the Nine-Tail. Kurama is a favorite character of mine. I love doing that. So I'm very happy about it. I hope they're going to maintain the same quality of writing. Remember, when you do a manga, when you're doing something based on a manga, you have a storyline and certain plot points that must be touched upon, okay? So it's up to the writers who do a wonderful job on the show. It's up to the writers to be able to maintain that, to keep that sort of good quality stuff going. But I'm ecstatic. I hope it has 600 episodes and I keep doing more and more of them. That'd be great.
Especially when they have to fill in all those little in-betweeny bits
Yeah.
between the comic panels.
Or the little sideshow things they do, you know, like, Kingdom Hearts has gone in a lot of different directions. Sometimes you're going like, what? But what happens, what did I say about when you get work?
Yes. Yes.
I'm not gonna say, you know, I don't think I'd say that role. That doesn't fit my role, you know. Yes, you do. Yes, last one.
So speaking of Kingdom Hearts, with the third one eventually coming around, is there anything, like, could you at least say you're working on it or anything?
Actually, they haven't called me. I haven't called my agent, is the way of putting it. I don't know if I will be in 3, only because of the way the plot lines and stuff like that go. I may not be in it, okay? I don't want to think about Kingdom Hearts without Organization 13, and who's the damn boss, okay? But it may not work out that I'm actually in that. But I haven't worked on it yet. I don't know a thing about it yet. And of course, they don't tell us until we get called. Again, it's an NDA. They want us just spilling information. Guys, thank you so much for coming to Voice Performer. Stick around for closing. We're going to make announcements and say thank you and bye-bye and all that other stuff. And let's do this again next year, yes?
Yeah.
Yes! 2018, baby. I want to make this Omni Fandom Expo the best con in Florida. Yes. Join us. Let's do that. Make it the very best con.